first week at my new job at PA Logic Solutions. Just want to come on here and just give you all an update of how my first week has been. So I just wanted to rewind and say that I left my retail job. So I left Walgreens this past Friday on December 11th. That was my last day with them. So it actually ended up being more of a bittersweet moment than I anticipated. I really thought that when the day came that I would just be like, all right, just see ya, ready to go, you know? But I think it just kind of like hit me that this was like my last day to, I mean, I was excited to get out, but like it was my last day to work with the people that I love, because I love the people that I work with, my technicians, my interns, and I felt sad because they were sad that I was leaving. I was very grateful that I did get to work the whole week with my interns that I don't usually get to work with because of, you know, they're interns, so they're in school still, but they've, you know, been out of school due to like the holiday break and everything, so I was able to schedule them more. So I was very happy that they got to work with me my last week, so I got to really enjoy some time with them before I left. It was just like a bittersweet but also surreal day. They were so kind. They got me a cake, they got me my favorite pizza for lunch that day. They had a card with a Nike gift card in there because they know I love to work out, with a balloon and everything. So they really did go above and beyond and just went all out for my last day, and I really wasn't expecting anything, but I was very grateful and appreciative of them going out of their way to show their love and appreciation for me. If you follow me on my Instagram, then you did see that on my Instagram stories that day. But it was just very sweet, very kind, but also very sad at the same time. And it was so funny because like at the very end of my shift, when I was signing off the computer for the last time, it was really hard to like kind of step away, you know, and be like, oh gosh, like this is it. Like once I sign off, there's no going back. And same thing about walking out the door, saying my goodbyes to everybody. Like when I walked out the door, like this was it. There was no going back. So it was just kind of like a surreal moment. And even though I had been waiting and praying for that day for so long, it was actually kind of sad at the same time. And I'll be honest, I kind of sat in the parking lot for a little bit after I did walk away and just kind of let it like sink in that, okay, this is it. Like, you're done. You can't go back, you know, you're not allowed back in the pharmacy, in your pharmacy anymore. Even though I knew all this was happening, I think it was just finally one of those moments that was like hitting me, you know? So Friday was like, it was a great day. It was such a great day to end on, but I definitely will say that I am sad in regards to leaving my people, and I'm sad that they were sad for me leaving, but obviously, you know, they were happy for me and supportive of me. But just the thought of them missing me and being sad that I'm not there, you know, it makes you feel really good, but it also just kind of pulls on your heartstrings, you know, just to know like how much that you're loved and appreciated, and that they were going to miss you so much. But and I don't get to, you know, and I don't get to work with them anymore, you know? And funny enough, to this day, so today is the 18th, funny enough, to this day, they still have not replaced me. My picture and my name is still up there as a pharmacy manager at the Walgreens, which I think is so funny. They haven't even gone through the process of like interviewing and hiring people. Our district as a whole was just in a very bad spot, and I kind of felt bad for leaving at the time that I did, but I know that's playing a little bit into it. And I also heard that supposedly 2 of my technicians is now leaving, so I feel really bad for them to have left them in a spot where the district was kind of already in a bad shape, and then now our store in particular, there's going to be so much turnover now. Like, that's going to be a completely whole new pharmacy crew in there. But, so yeah, this past Friday was my last day at Walgreens, and then I started this past Monday at my new job on the 14th. You know, for the first few weeks or so, I'm going to be mostly in training, although I am doing a lot more hands-on. So the past 2 days I've been actually like doing the actual work, and just kind of having people verify behind me. I think some people still have some questions about what it is I'm going to be doing. I had a lot of questions on Instagram and YouTube, but a lot of questions on Instagram. Again, I'm so overwhelmed by the amount of messages and just love and support and questions and inquiries that I've gotten from everybody. I'm still having people reach out to me about my new job and, you know, everything going on, which is, you know, it's just one of those moments. It's really nice to know that you have so many people, you know, backing you up, supporting you, in your corner, so many people who you know that you've made an impact with or have related to in some sense. So it's just really nice and I guess sweet and comforting to know that. But a little bit about my job. So I have taken a clinical pharmacist position at a company called PA Logic Solutions. So basically, in a nutshell, without getting into the nitty gritty, like too much detail and what all the job entails, is essentially I approve or deny prior authorizations for prescriptions or medical drugs. So what happens in like these type companies is you contract or partner with insurance companies. So like for instance, like Blue Cross Blue Shield, like a big common, insurance company. We partner with different insurance companies. And so then we work with those contracted clients in approving or denying medications or medical procedures that need prior authorizations, right? So my main job is to work with a certain insured that we're partnered with. I can work across different insurance clients that we do have within the company, but my main role is with this particular insurance company. And so essentially what I do is there's a huge work queue with incoming claims, right, for mostly prior authorization. Sometimes it can be like a quantity limit or exception or something of that manner, but usually it's for prior authorization. So what that means is when a drug gets rejected by an insurance company under that particular patient's plan, and we assess if we want to approve it or deny it based on the patient's insurance plan, what all their parameters and limitations and restrictions they have on their particular plan. And where you use the clinical side of it is you look at it as a case-by-case scenario. So you're going in and you're verifying the patient, their disease state, their history on it. You're looking at all the chart notes, any information that's given to you. So you're assessing the disease state, you're assessing their therapies, what they've tried in the past, how severe they are in their disease state. Is this medication even appropriate for what they're treating for? Is this an appropriate step at this point in their therapy to have this drug? So essentially each case that I look at is a puzzle, if you will. So you're assessing the patient, their disease state, their therapies, taking all this information and putting the pieces together and then making your best clinical judgment call on whether they meet the criteria for this particular drug. Is it appropriate? And sometimes you have to really think outside the box in terms of stating why you're approving this medication or denying it. Usually for when you deny prior authorization, that's where you need to put all the supportive data as far as why you're denying it. For instance, like if they just don't meet this criteria because they haven't tried these other covered alternatives and haven't showed treatment failure on these other covered alternatives. So what I've learned from this week and me learning and experiencing how to work these different claims in these different cases that are coming to us is it reminds me a lot of school. So whenever I was still in pharmacy school, our third year was a lot like the job that I'm doing right now. So it's basically you have cases, you dissect the cases, and you either diagnose or manage their disease states, manage their therapies, and you make the best, the most appropriate clinical-based judgment call on what is best for them, what's the next therapy, right? Honestly, the number one thing should always be you should be advocating for the patient at hand. And the other thing too is you're also working for the client, so for the insurer. So you don't want to approve anything and everything because that's what drives up healthcare costs, right? That's why these positions are so important more than ever right now, because obviously here in America, our healthcare costs are way over budget. We're very severely in debt, and it continues to climb because physicians or patients and insurers are not taking the proper steps to really individualize each patient and assess their disease state and make sure that they're doing the correct step therapies first. Again, it's not black and white, so it's very obviously each case is a case by case. As for instance, for like a prescriber, if a patient has like chronic migraines, you don't want to just jump to prescribing the most newest and approved therapy there is, because it's going to be one of the most high cost drugs there is, but there are other covered, cheaper, more cost effective alternatives that they could try that they haven't shown to try or showed treatment failure yet. So those are going to be more cost effective as well as effective in general, versus trying to use this drug, this brand new drug that's thousands of dollars that needs a PA, when they could try these other alternatives, try those first to see if they work and they're efficacious for the patient So again, you're saving money. So the insurance company is not having to cover this thousands of dollars drug causing healthcare costs to go up. So that's also a key component to my job, is I play a huge role in cutting healthcare costs, because that's a huge issue in the world, but definitely in America. So that's why these jobs are so important and are becoming more and more prevalent. But what I have learned though, from this week is it reminds me a lot of school, because you take each case individually and you have to assess it, put all the puzzles together and make a clinical decision, right? I'm overwhelmed in a sense, because I'm really having to dig deep and refresh my mind on a lot of the clinical aspects of a lot of these disease states and these drugs that you just use your knowledge in different ways in retail versus something like this new position that I'm in. So it's definitely a learning obstacle for sure, and just having to refresh my mind on a lot of things. But luckily I have access to all kinds of resources to help support any of my decisions or any data that I do come around. So that part is just I would say that part right now is just still a little overwhelming. And I hate being in that position where I don't feel efficient, because I'm so used to being go, task oriented, always being the go-to person, being just very efficient, right? I'm not in that point obviously right now, but it's been so great. It's been a super easy week, and as I've mentioned, I have several friends that already work for this company, so immediately it feels like home. It feels like family. It's super laid back. I have my own office, although I will say the building that we're in right now is actually a temporary building. We're in a temporary office, so we're actually going to be moving across the road from where we're at. They're just finishing that building for us and completely remodeling it. But yeah, it's really nice. I get an hour lunch break. I still haven't learned how to completely utilize my hour-long lunch break, because I'm so used to not having a lunch break. I've never had one. So it's been funny to actually try and take an hour-long lunch break. I haven't yet this week, but it's just such a laid-back atmosphere. Everyone is just so great and so patient, and just a lot of fun. Super casual. I can pretty much wear whatever I want, as long as it's respectful in a sense that that you go to work. But I've been wearing comfortable leggings. I've been wearing all kinds of different shoes and just cute shirts, fun casual things. I don't have to worry about wearing a certain clothing like I did in retail. I don't have to wear my white coat anymore. We have a super nice break room, which we have access to all these different coffee machines and coffee options, which is so great. So it's fun to go in there in the afternoons, and we all meet for a little coffee break, and everyone just makes a little cup of coffee, and there's always snacks and food. The people I work with are a bunch of foodies just like me, so everyone's always having a food spread or snacks around. It's just so easygoing. It's such a different experience from retail, day and night. The only way I can describe it is it feels like a dream. I don't know how to explain it, because I just don't have to deal with the crazy chaos of retail any longer. And it has been so peaceful not to hear the phones ringing off the hook nonstop, drive-through going crazy, it's just been so quiet, and I can actually sit in my desk in my own thoughts and actually focus on something and not be pulled in a million different directions. And it's just, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just been such a good experience. It's just crazy. It doesn't feel like it's my job yet, because I guess because I'm still in that learning stage, it almost feels like I'm back on rotations or something. It's been a really great experience so far, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward. It's been so nice coming home every evening, not having to work nights. I'm off this weekend. This normally would have been my working weekend. And I'm so grateful to have this weekend off now, because now I can attend Christmas at Church of the Highlands, which is my church, with my family. Before, I wasn't going to be able to do that because I would have been working at Walgreens. It's just really nice. My overall demeanor and mood and energy is just so much better. And that's the thing. I'm not in pain every day from having to stand and have 0 breaks. I'm still learning to find my routine. That was going to be one of my hardest things in terms of the gym. I haven't really figured that out yet. So I don't know if it'll be best for me to go to the gym every day after 5, or if I might do like half in the morning, half in the evenings, do my F45, you know, on this day. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet because I've only been in the gym like twice this week, but I'm not putting the pressure on myself for that right now. I'll find my groove. But just in general, just know that it is awesome. And it is a day and night difference in a good way. And again, I just want to say thank you for everyone who has reached out to me. Again, the amount of support that I've received for this new move, this new chapter in my life, is unbelievable, you know? That turned into a really long update. That's really all I have for now. Of course, I plan on keeping y'all updated as I go along. Just be sure, if you don't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram. That's where I do most of my real life, you know, in the moment updates. I share on my stories. Sometimes I make a post. So if you're not already following me there, just make sure you follow me there. But I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to relax. I'm going to enjoy my Friday evening. Cody's at work, so it's just Slater and I tonight. We're going to watch a little Netflix, and then we're going to go to bed. And that's it. We're going to enjoy our off weekend, and we're going to get ready for another week at our new job. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.